evening, good Shabbos, Shabbat Shalom, and welcome to our service. It is our custom to ask if anyone is here for the first time. If so, tell us who you are and where you're from. Yeah, go ahead. Welcome, welcome, yes. Do we have anyone else? Well, now, next, do we have anyone celebrating a birthday this week or next week? Yes. Go ahead, Holly.
Yes, December 18th.
Happy birthday. And Mindy.
December 10th.
And did I see another hand back there somewhere? Who's tomorrow? Okay, happy birthday, and any significant wedding anniversaries?
How about insignificant?
All right, now, who said that? I have to, any insignificant wedding anniversaries?
We have one.
Insignificant. How many years is this?
I think we're insignificant, yeah.
How many years now?
3. This will be year 4.
This will be year 4. Okay, Mazel Tov. Okay. Congratulations to everyone. Let us turn now to pages 2 and 3, and we call on Dr. Lois Barson to lead us in the Shabbat candle blessing.
This is from a collection of writings called the Jewish Woman's Book of Wisdom. The essay, called To Become the Best That We Can Be, was originally published in 1977. The Sabbath is not only not in nature, it is against nature. In nature, all days are alike. The birds continue to fly, the fish to swim, the grass to grow. But the Sabbath enters human history as a creation, an invention, a transcendent idea, an idea imposed on, laid over, all of nature's evidences. Every creature, human or animal, is respected for its individual essence and given a day of peace, seizing perfection out of the ragged flow of ordinary time. The Sabbath is set apart from routine so that the delights of being alive can be savored without distractions. Both power and powerlessness become irrelevant. On the Sabbath, equality and dignity rule. Every Sabbath day is a sacred fulfillment, a divine creation in itself, fashioned through human dedication in the image of God.
We continue with Motto. We enter this sanctuary to welcome Shabbat. Within these walls, we sit surrounded by numberless generations. Our ancestors built the synagogue as a visible sign of God's presence in their midst. Throughout our long history and our endless wanderings, it has endured, a beacon of truth, love, and justice for all humanity. Its presence guided our ancestors to lives of righteousness, holding up to them a vision of their truest selves. Let us continue praying together. Now we, in our turn, come into this sanctuary to affirm the sacredness of our lives. May we enter this place in peace. May holiness wrap around us as we cross its threshold. Weariness, doubt, the flaws within our human hearts, the harshness of the weak, let these drop away at the door. In the brightness of Shabbat, let peace settle upon us as we lift our hearts in prayer. Page 28, please rise for the Baruch. Praise Adonai, to whom praise is due forever. Praise be Adonai, to whom praise is due, now and forever. Page 30. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, ruler of the universe, who speaks the evening into being, skillfully opens the gates, thoughtfully alters the times and changes the seasons, and arranges the stars in their heavenly courses according to plan. You are creator of day and night, rolling light away from darkness and darkness from light, transforming day into night and distinguishing one from the other. Adonai Tzvaot is your name, ever-living God. May you reign continually over us into eternity. Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings on evening Baruch atah Adonai hama'ariv aravim. Ahavat olam. continue with the Shema. Hear, O Israel, Adonai is our God, Adonai is one. Blessed is God's glorious majesty forever and ever. Please be seated, and we continue on 36. Page 39 in the middle, let us pray responsively. In a world torn by violence and pain, a world far from wholeness and peace, give us the courage to say, Adonai, there is one God in heaven and earth. The high heavens declare your glory. May earth reveal your justice and love. From bondage in Egypt we were delivered. At Sinai we bound ourselves to your way. Inspired by prophets and instructed by sages, time and again we overcame oppressive forces. Though our failings are many and our faults are great, it has been our glory to bear witness to our God, keeping alive in dark ages your vision of a world redeemed. Let us continue to work for the day when the nations will be one and at peace. Then shall we rejoice as Israel did, singing on the shores of the sea. Page 42. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom v'hamidenu shomrenu l'chaim. Grant, O God, that we lie down in peace and raise us up our guardian to life renewed. Spread over us the shelter of your peace. Guide us with your good counsel for your name's sake. Be our help. Shield and shelter us beneath the shadow of your wings. Defend us against enemies, illness, war, famine, and sorrow. Distance us from wrongdoing. For you, God, watch over us and deliver us. For you, God, are gracious and merciful. Guard our going and coming to life and to peace evermore. Blessed are you, Adonai, guardian of Israel, whose shelter of peace is spread over us, over all your people Israel, and over Jerusalem. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom aleinu, v'al kol amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim. On page 44, we continue with Yismachur. Page 46, please rise for the tefillah.
Yeah.
page 52. Ata kadosh v'shimcha kadosh u'kadoshim b'chol yom yahalalucha selah Baruch ata Adonai ha'el hakadosh. Please be seated. And on page 55, in the middle of the page, let us pray responsively. Disturb us, Adonai, ruffle us from our complacency, make us dissatisfied with the peace of ignorance, the quietude which arises from the shunning of the horror, the defeat, the bitterness, and the poverty, physical and spiritual, of humans. Shock us, Adonai. Deny to us the false Shabbat, which gives us the delusions of satisfaction amid a world of war and hatred. Wake us, O God, and shake us from the sweet, sad poignancies rendered by half-forgotten melodies and rubric prayers of yesteryears. Make us know that the border of the sanctuary is not the border of living, and the walls of your temple are not shelters from the winds of truth, justice, and reality. Disturb us, O God, and vex us. Let not your Shabbat be a day of torpor and slumber. Let it be a time to be stirred and spurred to action. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh HaShabbat. Page 56, Ritzeh.
Israel
the top of page 59. God of goodness, we give thanks for the gift of life, wonder beyond words, for the awareness of soul, our light within, for the world around us so filled with beauty, for the richness of the earth which day by day sustains us. For all these and more we offer thanks. Baruch atah Adonai, atov shimcha, u'lechana'eh lehodot. Sim shalom. We turn to page 253 for prayers for healing. Mishaberach avotenu ve'imotenu Avraham, Yitzhak ve'Yaakov, Sarah, Rivka, Rachel ve'Leah, hu yivarech et hacholim. May the one who blessed our ancestors Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebekah, Rachel, and Leah, bless and heal those who are ill. Let us mention in particular members of our congregational family: Peter Roth, Ted Simon, Ruth Lerner, Barbara Gross, Cy Kleonsky, Neil Bloom, Phyllis Ploner, Patty Crosby, Judge Edward Cohen. And those of you who have additional names to mention, please do so now. Yes, go ahead.
Terry Burke.
Alan Sal, Janet Sal, and Warren Siegel.
Toby Kay, Richard Rosenblum.
Do I see anyone else on this side of the room? Yes, go ahead. Ruth Orn, yes. And over here, yeah, I'll move from the front to the back. Yes, Kelly.
Susan Kay. Sandra Packer. Mark Davis.
Do I see anyone else over here? Now we'll turn over to the choir. Yes, Carol.
Judy Lane, Arturo Walker, and Tom Holohan.
Evelyn King.
May they all be granted a refuah shleimah. May the Blessed Holy One be filled with compassion for their health to be restored and their strength to be revived. May God swiftly send them a complete renewal of body and spirit. And let us all say amen as we sing together. We pray for those who are ill and those who are suffering. So we also need to offer a prayer of thanksgiving on behalf of those who are doing better, who are starting to feel the healing process work, who got better test results this time. And let us turn to the middle of the page. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, shegemalanu kol tov. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who has bestowed every goodness upon us. May the one who has bestowed goodness upon us continue to bestow every goodness upon us forever. Let us take a couple of moments for private silent prayer. May the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable unto you, O God, my rock and my redeemer. Page 258, prayers for our community. Source of all being, may the children of this community learn these practices from us. Love of Torah, devotion and prayer in support of the needy. May we guide with integrity and may our leadership be in your service. May those who teach and nourish us be blessed with satisfaction, and may we appreciate their time and their devotion. Bless us with the fruits of wisdom and understanding, and may our efforts bring fulfillment and joy. Baruch atah Adonai she'otcha levadcha b'yirah na'avod. Thus says Adonai, this is what I desire, to unlock the fetters of wickedness and untie the cords of lawlessness, to let the oppressed go free, to break off every yoke. Share your bread with the hungry and take the wretched poor into your home. When you see the naked, give clothing and do not ignore your own kin. If you banish the yoke from your midst, the menacing hand, the evil speech, if you offer compassion to the hungry and satisfy the famished creature, then your light shall shine in darkness. A sermon is supposed to end on an uplifting note, to give us hope, to give us comfort. That is the optimist in me. And if we don't deny the pain around us, if we focus on the pain too much, if that's all that consumes us, how can we look forward to and work toward a better future? I want to be an optimist, and that fights against that part of my personality that is a pessimist. And in a way, I, like most of us, we are both, and it depends on the mood we're in at that particular time of the day, or sometimes just the way we feel physically. We have spent an enormous amount of time, energy, and money in this congregation fortifying our building. I can't help but emphasize we also need to fortify our minds and our souls. Dating back centuries, the rabbinic tradition demanded that we know how to respond to those who accuse us and speak evil of us. A case can be made that that wasn't to engage primarily in debate with our adversaries, but to reassure ourselves as to where we stand. We are faced with all kinds of negative accusations, whether we are simply Jews, whatever that means, or worse, Zionist Jews. It's not just a matter, unfortunately and tragically, of just assuming facts. Oh, that may help us. But the horrendous conspiracy theories that float around the world satisfy the emotional needs of those who propagate them. It helps them deal with their insecurities. We've heard a lot of negative stuff. I want to focus on some positive things, or more positive things. First, the fact, no more, no less, that there is a White House roundtable on anti-Semitism shows that some people, at least, are speaking out against those horrible things that are being said. Whether you view it cynically or not, the fact that it exists is quite something. My other point has to do with a book that we are going to be reading, those who are involved in the BIW book group, about conspiracy theories in many of the universities in this country and anti-Israel and anti-Jewish activities there. I was asked to weigh in on the discussion. I won't tell you everything I will share at that meeting. It's not yet happening. It'll be a little bit in the future. But not every Jewish college student feels threatened. Enough do. It's horrible. It's dreadful. But at the same time, and I look around the room and I guess at our ages, when most of us were in college, Jewish studies programs did not exist. I could major in history as an undergraduate, and I didn't know that Jewish people ever existed in history. By the way, exactly the same accusation, fact, whatever you want to call it, is made regarding Black history. You could do a course in American history, and the ethnic, racial minorities just weren't there. There's been a change in that aspect as well. And let me, as one other example, turn something completely around. A person who has said some pretty nasty things about Jews recently, maybe that's how you get a certain dinner invitation. complained that the last two presidents, the most recent past presidents, had Jewish advisors. And in those formal photographs that are all over the place, when the president is signing something or deciding something, and all the big shot advisors are standing behind in a row, there are Jews there. Is that Jewish control? I'll say a word about that word in a moment. Or should we celebrate that Jews have been accepted in the highest corridors of power? A couple of generations ago, we tried to prove that we were not just parasites, that we were creators, and how many books had as their title, one way or another, the Jewish contribution to civilization? We would be proud of those who accomplished things. And I don't need to give you the standard list of those medical breakthroughs, etc., etc. We all know them. But take that word control. If I've heard the news correctly, I think it is a fair statement to say that the Republicans will control the House of Representatives. Whether you like that or dislike it, it's fact. If you were to say the Jews control the House of Representatives, which is not the case, it's viewed negatively because it's as if Jews have no right to be in such positions. That there is something inherently wrong in having Jews in any position of power, and most of the accusations of control don't exist anyway. We've had too many conspiracy theories in the past couple of centuries, more than centuries, about how Jews run the world, etc., etc. We used to believe, all of us naively, we were taught over and over again that we need more education. Well, it's pretty hard to educate a person whose mind is made up. It's hard to educate a bigot. It's hard to educate someone whose decisions are not made on the basis of information, but trying to satisfy emotional needs and insecurities. But where there can be education is educating ourselves, that we know and we can feel comfortable and secure knowing who we are and what we are. Someone brought me a newspaper article this past week. I'd seen stuff like this before, that there are many Jews who are afraid to go to a synagogue or afraid to identify publicly as Jews because of the danger that's out there. And rightly so. I understand where they are coming from. In certain places in this world, I would not walk down the street wearing a kippah. It would not be a good idea. If I felt the need to cover my head, I'd wear a cap. And a lot do. But the fact that you are here this evening is an act of protest. And for whatever reason you came here, it is still an act of protest against those who don't like us, who don't want us to be here. An act that says we are still around. And as long as the breath of life is within us, we will continue to persist. We will not be dismayed. I'm going to use an image I've used before. We can look at the present situation negatively or positively. It's really both. Is the glass half empty or is the glass half full? I've said this before. Stop arguing about whether the glass is empty or the glass is full or half full. Refill the glass. And that's what we need to do right now. We need to know who we are and what we are, immerse ourselves in the great teaching of our heritage, a teaching that has kept our people going through times much worse than these. And may we be inspired by what our ancestors did before us to keep this enterprise going forever. Amen. Page 283, we call up Tina Tessler and Dr. Howard Tessler to open the ark for the adoration. Please rise. Please be seated. Let us continue on the top of page 292, a prayer before the Kaddish. When cherished ties are broken and the chain of love is shattered, only trust and the strength of faith can lighten the heaviness of the heart. At times, the pain of separation seems more than we can bear, but if we dwell too long on our loss, we embitter our hearts and harm ourselves and those about us. The psalmist said that in his affliction he learned the law of God, and in truth, grief is a great teacher when it sends us back to serve and bless the living. We learn how to counsel and comfort those who, like ourselves, are bowed with sorrow. We learn when to keep silent in their presence and when a word will assure them of our love and concern. Thus, even when they are gone, the departed are with us, moving us to live as in their higher moments they themselves wish to live. We remember them now. They live in our hearts. They are an abiding blessing. We remember the recently departed Ralph Einstein, Leon Dinitz, Milton Tambor, Risa Loshek, Warren Coville, Gail Sinek, Lynn Elgart, Melvin Wiesel, Janice Brower, Dr. Jonathan Rosenthal. And we remember those whose yahrzeits occur at this time: Dr. Alan Barson, Margaret Brooks, Ann Cohen, Marilyn Cole, Ruth Friedman, Brenda Harburger, Jacob Harburger, Francis Mishkin, Greta Moore, Bria Rewerts, Naomi Silvermans. Do we have additional names? And I'll start. Yes, please, at the back. Yes, how? And do I see anyone on this side of the room? May all their memories stay alive in our hearts and our thoughts and our deeds. As we turn to page 294, please rise for the Kaddish. Yit Gadal v'yit Kadash Shemei Rabbah ve'alma divrach rutei v'yamlich malchutei v'chayechon of yomechon of chayedachol Beit Yisrael b'galach u'bizman kariv ve'imru Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam ul'almei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitalei v'yitalal Shmei tekutcha brichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechamata damiran ve'alma ve'imru Amen. Yehei Shlama Rabbah min Shamaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael ve'imru Amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael ve'imru Amen. May the source of peace grant peace unto those who mourn and comfort the bereaved among us. Let us all say Amen. Please be seated, and I now call on Alan Friedman, our Vice President, for some announcements.
Shabbat Shalom. Let me introduce myself, but before I do, let me just thank the rabbi for this beautiful service, and especially the choir. If there's anybody who isn't moved by their singing, it's because they're not here. If any new or prospective members have any questions, several of our board members are here tonight, and if you're an existing member, you also may have questions or complaints, and those same board members perhaps can help answer them. So rather than try to introduce them, because inevitably I'm going to miss somebody, I'd like them to rise if you're a member of the board, and just say your name. Just introduce yourself so people know who you are.
Stuart Sinai, our the past, immediate past president. Howard Tusler.
Kelly Reed.
She still is Kelly V.
This one back.
And Barbara in the back. Thank you. And as I say, particularly if you're new or considering joining, they and I would be the people to see. We don't necessarily have the answers, but we're all nice people. Let me take a minute to tell you some of the upcoming temple events. It's a fairly long list. There is no test at the end, so you don't have to memorize it. But if you're interested in any of them, I've got the information here, and I'll be around for, after the service, and I can fill you in, or any of the temple bulletins will do the same. This Sunday, there's a Hanukkah open house from 2 to 4 p.m. The gift shop will be open. There'll be jelly donuts, cider, and much more. You're urged to bring friends, whether they're members or not, and it's a good chance to meet the rabbi and the temple leadership. My wife Holly and I are going to be there. She because she wants to get some Hanukkah stuff, and me because I'll never pass by a jelly donut. So perhaps we'll see you there. The gift shop, on the subject of Hanukkah, is going to be open December 12th through the 15th, from 11:30 to 2:30 p.m., and on Fridays by appointment. And Hanukkah candles are available pretty much any time for purchase by check or cash in the front office. And just make those checks payable to the Beth Israel Women Gift Shop. Finally, on the Hanukkah front, we're not lacking for celebrations here. There is a Hanukkah party on December 18th. This promises to be a great event. It's here at synagogue at 6 p.m. Advanced reservations are required because there's limited space and it's a very popular event. These reservations should be made by noon on December 12th. The cost is $45 for TBI members, $55 for non-members, and if you are lucky enough to have grandchildren here who are 10 years old or under, they come free. Or if they're your own children and they happen to be that age. Good luck on that. Moving on Wednesday, December 14th at 3 p.m., the Rabbi Michael Eisenstadt University of Judaism will present Rabbi Howard Simon discussing Israel and Iran face-off and Israel and its relationship with the Middle East neighbors. You can register either online or call the office to register. Filling out the busy month, on December 15th, December 22nd, and December 29th, the fantastic 92nd Y at TBI will offer 3 great programs. On the 15th, the topic is Platonic, how the science of attachment can help you make and keep friends. This is probably really appropriate for a place like Sarasota, where many people move here when they retire and know nobody or very few people. And so if you know somebody in that position, or if you yourself want to know how to make and keep friends, this is a great opportunity. On Thursday, December 22nd, the subject is Notes in Grief and Where the Children Take Us. And finally, on December 29th, the program puts the focus on anti-Semitism, Understanding Anti-Semitism with Dr. Maurice Samuels. All these presentations are at 7:30 p.m. and are free to TBI members and $10 for non-members. Doors open at 7 o'clock. And again, to register for one or all of these sessions, email or call the office. And I've seen the hand come up for the first correction of the evening.
You did mention the Hope for the Holidays toy collection. That we will be, you saw some toys in the lobby. From 12 to 1 this Monday, we will be collecting toys for children. For second chance, last opportunity. In the parking lot, the big parking lot. You just have to drive up and we'll get them out of your car. And we would greatly, I'm sure they would greatly appreciate you. You've always been very generous in the past. And if you're coming Sunday, you can leave them in the lobby, too.
I'm sorry I missed that, because of all the things I said, without offending anybody, that could possibly be the biggest mitzvah that you could do.
Well, I'm not going to let you forget.
I will, if I'm ever invited back up here, I'll never forget. A final note, just a reminder that we're going to be celebrating our 45th anniversary as a congregation with a gala event on February 19th. You'll hear a lot more about this. We're honoring Rabbi Michael and Nancy Eisenstadt. Invitations will be going out shortly. Again, this may be limited space, I believe it is. I know it'll be a memorable event at Michael's on East. So watch your mail for the invitations and respond quickly. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Alan. Page 5, please rise and join in the singing of the Kiddush. let us conclude with the singing of Yedid Nefesh. You can find the words on 332. May we all be blessed with a Shabbat of peace, happiness, good health, and safety. Yevarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha, Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chunecha. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May the Eternal One bless us by protecting us, by being gracious unto us, by granting us peace. Good Shabbos, Shabbat Shalom. Okay, thank you. Good interaction with the congregation. Yeah.